Hey Canucks fans, let's look at the tenure of Jim Benning. I would argue it's almost a tale of two halves. I'm Clay Emo, I'm at Canuck Clay on Twitter, I'm at Clayton Emo on Instagram, I'm the founder of the GLCPC, the Good Looking Canucks Positivity Club, and this is my Canucks take all in one take. It's Clay's Canucks commentary for Friday, May the 22nd. This is where you get Canucks insight that's positive and timely. So yesterday was the 6th anniversary of Jim Benning's appointment, his hiring here as general manager of the Vancouver Canucks. And you saw earlier today, I reposted a video that my good friend Marie Huey and I did, a parody of the Beatles classic, Let It Be. We did our version called Jimmy B. That was kind of fun. I got to dress up in a suit and Marie looked good as always and sang good as always. So I really like that one actually. And it got some good love on Twitter and YouTube at the time. Anyways, today I want to talk about Jim Benning's tenure with the Vancouver Canucks. I know Harman Dial of The Athletic did a really good job yesterday breaking all his moves down, his drafting. You know, it's not just drafting, right? It's trades, it's free agent signings, it's contract extensions. And Harman Dial ended up giving Jim Benning a C+ over 6 years. Many people thought that was too generous because they think of kind of Jim Benning's misgivings. Others thought that was not generous enough, looking more at his recent success. And I'm not going to go through every single transaction, every single draft pick, and every single trade that he's done. But I will say, I believe it almost is, like I said off the top, it's almost like a tale of two different Jim Bennings, a tale of two halves. And it's not a perfect split, but I'd say you look at his first 3 years and his last 3 years, and he's definitely improving. He's definitely getting better, and I think that's the important thing to notice. You know, you think when you look at drafting, for instance, a perfect example, in his first few years, he drafted Jake Virtanen in 2014, and Olli Juolevi in 2016. Those were his first round draft picks. And you can argue those weren't that strong. You know, those sandwich Brock Besser in 2015, so that was a good one. But then you look recently, 2017, Pettersson, 2018, Quinn Hughes, 2019, Podkolzin and Hoglander. So even look at his drafting, you look at the first three, when we look at the first round, you look at Virtanen, Besser, and Juolevi versus Pettersson, Hughes, Podkolzin. I think it's plain to see that his drafting, at least from those 6 guys, has been a lot stronger in the last 3 years as opposed to the first 3 years. So that's one thing I look at, and there's been some late round steals which have been good. Adam Gaudette comes to mind, Thatcher Demko, maybe even Jack Rathbone. So I'd say, and we'd all agree that the drafting is a strong point of Jim Benning's, the way that he's a GM, and maybe that's kind of the reason why there's all this angst between him and Judd Brackett, is because Jim Benning wants to continue to have a hand in the amateur scouting. You look at contracts, a lot of them were pretty bad in the first part. The Louis Eriksson one comes to top of mind, and that wasn't the best. And then, but even recently you have the Tyler Myers one I was not excited about. So I'd say the contract extensions and I just use those 2 examples very quickly, but the contract extensions are maybe where not Jim Benning's strong point. And I even think, in the summer of 2018, he signed, or 17 or 18, I can't remember, but regardless, that's in the second half of the tenure. He did that one summer, that one day where he signed Beagle, Schaller, and Roussel on the exact same day. I think it's 2017, but I could be wrong there, because Schaller was 2 years and he just ended it. Yeah, I think it's 2017 actually, but whether it was 17 or 18, I'm counting that in the last 3 years of his tenure. So maybe his contract work maybe hasn't been the best overall. So that's one part where he hasn't improved. But another place he has improved, along with the drafting, was also, I think, his trades, right? Early in the tenure, you're trading away Jared McCann for Eric Goodbranson. You didn't get a lot in the Kessler deal, although you're kind of hamstrung there. But there are a lot of hockey trades that didn't go so well. And then including trade, like even I saw that there was a bunch of picks basically that Harman laid out, a bunch of 2nd round, 3rd round, 5th round picks that the Canucks gave away, and the only roster player they have to show for that by a double trade, right, a trade and then a trade, is Tanner Pearson. We've had guys like Andre Padan and Derek Pouliot and Lyndon Vey and Sven Berchi, so guys that really haven't made a dent in our system, or we're still paying for it because they're still in our system, right? So first half of Benning's tenure, not so great when it came to actual trades, but there's been 3 or 4 recently that I really like. I really like, obviously, the JT Miller trade. Everyone loves the JT Miller trade, even with a conditional pick going back the other way. That's a home run. I really like the fact that the Pearson for Goodranson trade. I think that was good. Josh Levo, the trade for Carcioni, who went back to Toronto. That was a great trade. And even this Tyler Toffoli trade, the jury's still out, depending on if the NHL comes back. But I really like that trade as well, even though you have to give up a guy like Tyler Madden, but you have to give up quality to get quality. So I look at those 4 trades that have been done in the last 2 seasons. Pearson, Levo, Miller, and Toffoli. And if you include Toffoli, that's 3 guys in our top 6. 3 guys in our top 6: Miller, Pearson, and Toffoli, and then a third liner, a bona fide third liner, and Josh Levo for giving away a couple prospects, but not bad at all actually. I really like that trade, those trades. So I'd say you could argue that Jim Benning's trades have been getting better as we've gone on. So when you look at the big three aspects of his transactions, I'd say in the past 3 years, the second half of his tenure, his drafting and his trading has been a lot better. And I'd say his contracts are still kind of not so great across the board over the past 6 years. So, if I was grading Jim Benning on July 1st or just before the Pettersson draft, if I was grading Jim Benning at this time 3 years ago, so let's say May 22nd, 2017, before the draft, I'd probably give him a C or a C minus. And then if I was grading him now, looking at only the last 3 years, I'd give him a solid B. So maybe it does actually equal out to a C plus. So I find Harman Dial's ranking of a C plus quite fair, and I'd love to know what you think. So the question of the day is, what letter grade would you give Jim Benning over the past 6 years of being a Vancouver Canucks GM? He's now the second longest tenured GM in Canucks history, only behind Pat Quinn. When you think about that, that's quite remarkable, actually. And I'm not sure where he stacks up against the rest of the league, but second overall in Canucks history is quite impressive. So, question of the day: what letter grade would you give Jim Benning for 6 years here as the Vancouver Canucks GM? And maybe an extension of that is, do you agree with me that he's gotten better over the second half of those 6 years? Leave a comment below. I love to read, react, and reply. As always, subscribe if you'd like to. Like this video if you'd like to. Stay safe, stay healthy, take care of yourselves, take care of each other. Have a great day. God bless, and go Canucks go.